How's everyone today? Fine. Fine밖에 못해요. How are you? Fine? So. 그런 건 아니에요. You need to be always positive in your answer. Because when they ask you how are you, they don't want to spend like 10 minutes listening to your story. So be polite about it. I was trying to say you could use other words like good, okay, or you're doing well, or use other kinds of expressions, not negative ones. Yesterday, a group of about 120 single people, half men and half women, gathered together on the first floor of this building to look for a suitable mate. It's called Jacob and Rachel's meeting. 야곱과 라헬의 meeting. I think it used to be night. 야곱과 라헬의 밤. They're not meeting at night anymore. They changed to meeting. But back in the old days, churches were criticized for being a 연애당. And I remember when I was young, we were told not to, pursue some relationship with someone else in the church. We were so discouraged to do that, but now we are openly setting up a time and place to match up as many couples as possible. They should have let us alone, not criticize us. 연애당이라고 그러지 말았어야 되는데. 그래서 교회를 통해서 더 많이 짜게 생겼어야 되는데. Anyway. But these people, 120 people, I sit right next to the people who are, planning for this 야곱과 라헬의 밤. And I was hassled for a few weeks because they've been calling all these people all day long. People will come and these volunteers, these harmonies, 권사님s will come and they'll, call all these young people. And even though many are over 30 and some are over 40, right? They are in no hurry to get married. It should be the other way around. They should be like knocking on the door and please, I want to join, please. But it's the other way around. The church has to call them and, why don't you sign up this time? And, it was not easy to gather 120. And it took them many weeks to gather up this number of people. And many young people today, some people, they hesitate to get married, especially the guys, because they think they need to get more, to have more, to start with more. And, or they want someone who's better looking, prettier, slimmer, 몸도 좋고. But once you get married, those things don't really matter that much. And it's hard to realize that beforehand. 왜 웃어? Does it matter? 얼굴 좀 더 잘생기고 이뻐야 돼? They're newlyweds right here and they're laughing. I don't know what that means. Onassis, our senior pastor last week in his sermon talked about Onassis and his super yacht, how wealthy he was and all that. He was a shipping tycoon, and he was one of the richest and one of the most famous people during his time. his business endeavors were very successful, and his wealth and flamboyant nature attracted many beautiful and famous women. So his first wife was 17 years younger than him. And even with her, he cheated on her. And his last wife was Jackie Kennedy, the widow wife of John F. Kennedy. So he was very successful in everything that he wanted to do. And one of the ways he displayed his wealth and style was his super yacht, Christina O. Originally built as a Navy ship, it was 100 meters long, and its tank could hold 15,000 liters of oil. Why that much? Because it needed that much. 15,000. And that could get the boat to go about like 6,000 miles. But, being so big, it's huge. It's not originally made as a yacht. But he turned it into a yacht. And it was huge, but it only had 18 rooms for guests. And one suite for Onassis himself. This was one of the most luxurious yachts in the world at that time, and even now so. So even the most powerful and famous wanted to be a guest on the ship. Winston Churchill enjoyed being on it, as well as John F. Kennedy, his wife, Jacqueline, Marilyn Monroe, and some other people. They loved to be invited. And recently, the yacht was renovated for $50 million. And it was on sale a few times, but no one is buying it because it's too much. It's too big. And I read somewhere that it needs about 38 crews. 38 crews. But if you want, you can charter the yacht for $600,000 a week. If you want. And if you could afford it. Onassis thought he was at the pinnacle of his life when he married Jackie Kennedy. But his end was coming up fast. With his first wife, Onassis had one son and one daughter. His only son died on a plane crash at the age of 24. Onassis was devastated and he died 2 years later. His daughter, Christina, so the Christina, or the yacht, was named after her, lost her brother in 1973, lost her mother in 1974, lost her father in 1975. The whole family died within 3 years. She died in 1988. She was only 37 years old. Raise your hand if you're younger than 37. 한국말로 할게요. 37살 안 된 사람. 37살 안 된 사람. 감사합니다. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be asking for age. 37, she died at the age of 37. But at the age of 37, she had been married and divorced 4 times. 4 times. Reminds us of the Samaritan woman at the well. She married and divorced 5 times. Anyway, she died at the age of 37, and when she died, she left everything she owned to her 3-year-old daughter. And the daughter was being taken care of by her ex-husband, which is the daughter's father, and he was married to a model he had an affair with and caused the divorce from Christina. Do you get the picture? Okay. So while they were married and had this daughter, he was having an affair, so they got a divorce. She didn't get married. He got married to the one that he was having an affair with, this model that he was having an affair with. So he got the custody of the child, and he got, with the child, all the money that she had. All the money that Onassis earned. It seemed that Onassis was successful in life. It seemed that he was living the life everyone only dreams of. But he was only chasing a rainbow, an illusion of happiness. He thought all that money and all that luxury will bring him happiness, but it wasn't there. He thought all that woman would give him satisfaction. A woman like Jackie Kennedy. But he never found happiness and was never satisfied. He said that, I've just been a machine for making money. He was that way. He called himself money-making machine. I seem to have spent my life in a golden tunnel. Everything he touched, everything he got out from the wall was gold. But he spent his whole life in the golden tunnel looking for the outlet which would lead to happiness. He thought all that gold, all that success will bring him happiness. And somehow, at the end of this tunnel, there will be an outlet, and when he goes out of this tunnel, there will be that outlet will lead to happiness. But the tunnel kept on going. He found no outlet. He found no happiness. He just found more gold. More gold and more gold. After my death, there will be nothing left. And his prediction was correct. Nothing was left. It was not a blessed life. It was not a happy life. There was just an aura of happiness. It seemed good. Everyone wanted to hang out with him, but he had no happiness. And he had nothing left. Vanity. As a Christian, as a spiritual person, we should not live to satisfy our desire. We should not go after things that the world is going after. They don't know the love, the joy, the peace, and the happiness God brings into our life. There is nothing better. They think worldly success will bring them satisfaction and happiness. Don't fall for those temptations. Of course, there is some satisfaction. Eating is good. Having a relationship is good. A house is good. Playing sports is good. But there's only so much you get out of it. For example, there is only so much you can get from eating. No matter what you eat, no matter how much you eat, no matter how expensive those food were, they're just food. They're just food. The good food, the expensive food that you ate cannot replace the joy you can get from your spouse, or from your children, from other relationships that you have. The joy you get from eating is the joy you get from eating. You can get the same kind of satisfaction by just eating 쌈 밥에다 쌈을 싸서 아니 쌈에다 밥을 싸야지. But you need to have a 뭐라 그러죠? 장을 쌈장 and some 된장찌개. That's as good as $100 meal that you can have at a hotel. It's the same kind of satisfaction. You don't get, you don't get to like heaven and come back with the $100 meal. It's the same kind of satisfaction from eating. The enjoyment and satisfaction you get from whatever you eat only lasts for a short while. And you will go hungry again. Right? $100 meal lasts for a month? No. It's just one meal. And if you had a big lunch, okay, you may skip dinner, but you will go hungry very next day. Same thing with everything in life. Everything. Whether it is a beautiful girl or handsome guy or, good car, nice house, it only lasts for a short. The joy you get from just a small house and the joy you get from like $1 million mansion is not good. Not good. To the woman at the well, she just said, "But whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst, and that the water I give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life." What Jesus gives us, yes. He's with us. He gives us the joy over and over and over again. It's just there. We don't have to get anything from outside. If you get your joy, if you get your pleasure, if you get your happiness from outside, then your life will be determined by what's happening outside. Other people will determine how happy you are. Other people will determine how satisfied you are. But if your happiness depends on the things that are inside, then other people cannot touch you. Whatever they do, you will still be happy. You will still be satisfied. You won't be going up and down and up and down. You will be constantly happy, constantly satisfied, content, thankful for everything. Thankful for eating 밥. 쌈 싸먹는 거 너무 감사해요. Oh, so good. Thankful. Because it's in us. God gives us that joy inside. Outside doesn't really matter. If we eat, we are happy. The original Hebrew word for vanity means breath. Hence the expression chasing after the wind. Like the wind, you can't even see it. It's elusive. Even if you find it somehow, it is only there for a moment, and it disappears. Onesimus, and the writer of the Ecclesiastes, repeat after me, Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes. 이거 힘든 단어예요. If you can pronounce this, you can show off. The Onesimus and the writer of Ecclesiastes realized it too late. They realized it only after they've been through everything. Only after chasing after these things their whole life, they realized it's not there. The happiness is not there. I've done everything I want to do. It's not there. Verse 10. Today's passage, verse 10 says, I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. Oh man, he was flashed. He had everything he wanted. I refused my heart no pleasure. Wow. My heart took delight in all my work, and that was the work for all my labor. He did everything he wanted to do, and it was good at that time. But it was gone. Soon. It was all meaningless. From chapter 1, he keeps saying, vanity of vanities, everything's bad. It's all worthless. It's all useless. And in chapter 12, he suggests, remember your Creator in the days of your youth. Not when you're old, not when you have done everything, not when you have tried everything. But remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come and the years approach, when you will say, I find no pleasure in it. This time is coming. We don't have to go through all this and be at the age of like 80 or 90 to learn this. We can gain this wisdom and learn the truth from the Scripture. One thing a pilgrim to the celestial city has to go through, one place a pilgrim to the celestial city has to go through, is the Vanity Fair. Fair is like a marketplace. Vanity is being meaningless or worthless. Vanity Fair is a marketplace where they sell every day, throughout the year, all the useless stuff. That's what John Bunyan wants to say through this name, Vanity Fair. And it is a marketplace where they sell all kinds of goods, such as land, houses, honors, power, slaves, woman, man, pleasures, etc. And the townspeople are so eager to sell their products that when the pilgrims do not pay attention to them, they start to arrest them. The temptation that come in your life won't go away easily. Things will not be suggested to you. They will be forced upon you. Satan will not leave you alone just because you say, no, I don't like it. Okay. He doesn't do that. He will come after you with more people, with more temptation, with more to hassle you, to lure you, to tempt you. He even tempted Jesus. Can you believe that? Tempting Jesus. Not just once, 3 times. With the riches of the world, he showed everything to Jesus. I'll give this to you. Just bow down before him. And I believe it was tempting. Because Jesus came to get the world back to the Father. But it was a wrong way. So how do you overcome temptation? What can you do in order to free yourself from the townspeople of Vanity Fair? We need to remember that this is one area you don't want to go in with the full force. You don't want to collide with the tempter head on. The temptation may come to you head on in full-blown seduction, like in Joseph's case. Joseph didn't want it, but the temptation came, and it kept coming and coming and coming, and she grabbed onto his shirt or whatever he was wearing. He had to take it off and run away. It can come like that in full-blown seduction, but we want to avoid that situation as much as possible. The Scripture tells us to flee. We flee. We don't fight it. We flee. I remember growing up, this evangelist, coming to our church, and they'll be like telling us, 이상한 영화 극장에 가가지고 쥐어 이러고 있지 마. You can just get out. Don't watch that. Get out. Get out. Don't go to a club and be like, oh, please Lord, keep me away from temptation. Get out. Don't go to the club. We flee. And we cut off the things that will be used to entice us. Cut the time you spend watching TV and movies, the drama. Because if you keep watching those things, you notice things. Ladies, right? You notice things in the set. 저기 밥솥 좋다. 저 커튼 멋있는데? 우리 집에 잘 어울리겠는데? Right? And all that commercial. It used to be, like back in the US, the commercial time is so long. And they will cut the program, go to commercial, cut the program, go to commercial. The commercial time is really, really long. In Korea, it used to be really short. And it will only come like before and after the show. But now, it seems that it got much longer. And you have more commercial and it's really enticing. Whatever they drink, you want to drink it. Whatever they're wearing, you want to wear it. The more you see, the more you will want. Cut off those sources of temptation. And watching those beautiful people on screen. I talked about this before. Even the actresses don't look like that. Right? In normal day, they look like you and me. Not totally, but somewhat. They're not like that beautiful person. Perfect face. Perfect skin. They don't have that. Right? It's all makeup people. They work on them for a long, long time. And, guys with huge muscles, Captain America. Have you seen the movie? His muscles are really big. Those are his muscles. They're not, drawn in or whatever. It's his muscles. He was that big. But just for the movie. Just for the movie. So when we see those images that we see on screen are not real. Even those people, they don't look like that during the normal time. They were specially tuned up for that movie, for that role, so they look beautiful. So they look handsome. They're like, They're not real. But if we keep just watching those things and getting those images into our head, it just becomes an image that you pursue. You want someone as beautiful as those people inside. The scripture tells us to flee, cut off these sources. Watching those things will flare up lustfulness in your heart, and you will want them as well. Also, for sexual temptations, get married. Get married. 젊은 사람들, 빨리 결혼하세요. Guys, 빨리 결혼하세요. The sexual temptation is crazy. It's crazy. Even for ladies. But for guys, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Everywhere you look. Everywhere you look. It was only like that in America. But now it's like here too. Everywhere. Get married. It was Paul's advice. Don't burn up with these sexual desires. Get married. God is not forbidding us to have sexual desires or sexual pleasure. God is the one who gave us that pleasure. But God is saying, just get married and enjoy it. And have kids. Have lots of kids. At least 3, more the better. More the merrier. Spend time with them, and they will keep you busy and happy. Responsibilities are good. Being busy is good. Too much time at hand and idleness will cause your heart to wander. Do you know what wandering means? Let me show you what wandering means, okay? This is wandering. That's wandering. You do that when you have time, right? When you're busy, when you're busy, you just go. You don't notice things around you. Too much time is not good. Stay busy. Stay busy. Find things to do. And have lots of things. And also get involved in serving. Serving God, serving others through church. When you serve both God and man, you will get even more satisfaction and joy. And I told you, Bill Gates and his wife, Melinda Gates, their full-time job now is helping other people. And they feel so happy. They're so satisfied with it. And they're so, worked up to do more for the world. Onassis and the writer of Ecclesiastes realized something very, very valuable. They realized that our hearts and life cannot be filled with satisfied with earthly things. But it was too late. Onassis' full name. You know what his first name is? Aristotle. Do you know who Aristotle is? Aristoteles? Aristoteles. 한국말 잘하죠? And his middle name, do you know what his middle name is? Socrates. Or Socrates. What a name! Aristoteles, Socrates, Onassis. That was his name. What a name. His name contains 2 of the most well-known Greek philosophers, but he lacked wisdom. He only realized that there was no outlet to happiness in the golden tunnel when it was too late. Same with the preacher or the writer of Ecclesiastes, supposedly King Solomon. Having chased the wind the whole life and having enjoyed everything life has to offer, anybody can say what they said. It's not hard to realize, oh goodness, it's all vanity when you have done it all and you don't find happiness. Anybody can do that. Even a dumb person can do that. Even a foolish person can learn that. But by then, it was too late. King Solomon couldn't turn his boat around. Onassis couldn't turn his boat around either. Learn from these foolish men. What a waste. Don't go after this. Happiness can only be found in Jesus Christ. Amen. Let's pray.